How did the clown die?
His little car exploded. The joke car exploded on him.
You're being
A photo
serious?
of an anonymous man's bulging underwear
was tweeted from Congressman Wiener's account.
I'm miserable now.
Add something different, especially for the Teen Vogue party.
your former charmed co-star, Alyssa Milano.
I asked Michael why it was easier to train oil drillers to become astronauts than it was to train astronauts to become oil drillers, and he told me to shut the fuck up. So that was the end of that talk.
Why you want to leave me?
That I'm an Italian girl from New York.
Text goodnight. I met his cousin.
Bitch, I want my damn ATM card.
I can't control my horny level.
State of Florida versus Casey Marie Anthony. As to the charge of first-degree murder, verdict as to count 1. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty.
And I'm So Miserable podcast with Elaine and Emily is innocent.
Hi, welcome back to the literally crazy podcast.
Literally, like this is so crazy, like.
The Australian misinformation podcast.
But like he's still British in my brain. Like I don't even care what you say. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, so we're fresh off that Euphoria episode. Billions are raking in like all the number categories. So to appease all the male fans this episode, we're talking about gaming.
Yes, gaming, which forewarning, me and Emily are on very different ends of the knowledge about gaming spectrum. To you, they might be dumb questions, but I think I ask a lot of smart questions about video games.
This entire thing, Elaine is just learning.
My brain power has expanded. What's a gaming term I could use right now? What's
Geralt. Like sneak preview, like Elaine learns the difference between Call of Duty and Modern Warfare.
Spoiler, they're all the same. I learned about the botchling in The Witcher. No, for real, I literally don't know shit about video games.
Games you played growing up, like what was your exposure?
It's like Nintendogs, that was my shit. I would like sit. If you played Nintendogs, you know, when you would train the dogs you would have to like take them to the gym, and then they would be ready to be in the agility competitions. And then once they were in the agility competitions, you had to work your way up to like the final championship. It's like a process. They really actually made you train those bitches. Bitches, literally. Literally. I remember whenever I would be in the championship of the like agility trial, I would like turn off all the lights in my room, like sit in the dark corner and be like, nobody fucking come in here or talk to me right now for the next 3 minutes, because they literally only lasted like 3 minutes. I would take that shit so seriously. That was like my religion at the time, was Nintendogs.
It's literally me recording this podcast though. I like tell my parents, I'm like, I'm going up to my room, please don't bother me.
I loved PictoChat. You loved PictoChat?
Well, okay, I was writing erotic novels to myself on PictoChat for some reason. Instead of like masturbating, I was just writing like, she took out her boobs.
You were writing Euphoria at age you were writing Euphoria at age 9.
I think that's why I'm so disgusted by this show, because I'm like, ugh, already. So yeah, I don't know why I'm telling this publicly to the podcast, but it better be worth it. So I wrote about that in a Letterboxd review one time, so I think it's public knowledge.
I had Nintendogs. I had babies.
Imagine babies.
Yes, that game was so. I actually loved it. I remember
hated it. I was like, I'm not interested in motherhood. The Imagine games are some of like God's worst creations. They're actually like an abomination. Like they are horrible games.
I love taking care of my babies. I actually played with dolls till I was like in 7th grade. Is that weird? I feel like that's weird.
Still played with dolls until 7th grade.
Yeah, and like babies. Baby dolls.
I feel like that's more normal than me writing like erotic novel PictoChat to myself.
Outside of the DS, I feel like I just played a lot of like web browser games. Like I loved Girl Sense. Did you ever play Girl Sense?
Oh yeah, you could fashion design on there.
But it was the only time I've ever pulled an all-nighter in my life was staying up to play Girl Sense.
What the fuck could you guys have been doing all night on that? There's like 2 things to do on that website.
Pop Tropica, obsessed. Pop Tropica, goated. What was your favorite? Did you have a favorite island?
Yeah, like I remember loving like Superhero Island because you could like fly, or like maybe it was the spy one where you could have the bow tie that could like zip you around. I feel like just like every online game like that, I would just like pretend I had like a boyfriend character who was like an NPC, and then I would actually just like talk to this like boyfriend in my mind.
Yeah, that was the mission on Club Penguin at all times when I would play that. I'd be like, time to go to Club Penguin and find a boyfriend.
What's crazy is that like I knew that was happening on Club Penguin, like I would see it, and, like I would watch other girls do it, but I didn't feel like trying, so I would go to like the pet shop and pretend I was a puffle and try to get like a mom. I think it's because my parents like were busy at work, and so I like wanted like some parenting in my life because I would just be after school from like 3 to 6 p.m. Like my parents weren't home, like they didn't know what I was doing, and I was like 10.
Webkins. I loved Webkins.
Yeah, I had like 70. I wasn't allowed to have Club Penguin membership, but I was allowed to have 70 Webkins.
Do you have a favorite one that you remember?
Scout, he's a husky, like from To Kill a Mockingbird. I'm literate like that.
Do you remember when that lore was going around that like scary that was like if you log onto Webkins on Halloween, like your pets are gonna get slaughtered? I remember that being so scared about that.
What did you think you were gonna see? Like a beheading? Like they have...
Yes, literally yes.
Well, we were traumatized by war. We were traumatized by Iraq war. We like believed everything. We were like killing is real and war is a reality.
I think I had like off-brand DDR also.
Fuck yeah. DDR Max 2, one of my favorite games ever. My favorite song on DDR Max 2 is this one, Captain Jack, called In the Navy. And it's like really like patriotic because again, we were at war. We were in Iraq. And so they put like war propaganda songs on DDR Max 2. And then it's like, in the Navy, in my country, I can be free. I can't get through this. And we want you for the general's crew. It was like recruiting you.
There was so much war propaganda in all of these video games, probably.
Dude, I had just like motherfucking Beanie Babies with like American flags on them. And they were like, every Beanie Baby is sold. We're gonna send money to army.
That's probably why there was like weird. I was on Girl Sense all night. Like there was like
you were dealing with your
like
war
army
trauma.
recruiters. There was like army recruiters in the chat.
Like on Girl Sense.
Girl Sense recruiting.
Dude, were girls even allowed to be in army back then? They still had don't ask, don't tell. But like I was just saying, like when you're really little, you're really patriotic for no reason.
The 4th of July is your favorite holiday when you're like between the ages of like I feel like between the ages of like 3 and like 7, the 4th of July is the best holiday.
And you have to perform like God Bless America you have like a performance of God Bless America at school every other day.
I had like so many 4th of July clothes as a child. I feel like I was like a new outfit for 4th of July, popping off and slaying as a 6-year-old. Can't wait to go to the parade and stunt with my glitter headband.
We had so many like events that day. Maybe that's why Call of Duty was so popular too, because they were like army our whole lives, and then you got to like be in the army by Call of Duty. They got rid of the draft, so they had to give you Call of Duty.
Yeah, now we're gonna have the like food service draft. Like you said.
When you turn 18, like oh my, this is about to be the misinformation podcast officially, but like in Israel, when you have to join the IDF, when either you're like done with high school or you're a teenager, please, I'm lying right now, I don't know, but you like have to do like your little required army service, I think.
Well, I do know that like for sure in South Korea you have to like do army. to like join the army for it's for my Korea boot era.
United States is going to start doing that to fully staff the Dunkin' Donuts across the country, but it's gonna be like a food service, like required food service when you turn 18, when you're done with high school. You have to go work 2 years at the Red Robin.
I think it would make the world a better place and a lot of people way more understanding and empathetic. Harsh realities of working in the food service industry.
I think it really would help people out, but it's also like, damn, I want my Dunkin' Donut quicker, maybe.
Me want my Timmy Horties quicker. It's okay. I currently work in the food service industry, so
I'm a part of the labor shortage. I'm an able-bodied unemployed.
I would like to hear about your video games.
I was supposed to prepare for this episode for like this podcast we're doing. I didn't, and so I'm just gonna read my Steam bio. That's psychotic, where I list all of my favorite games. My favorite games of all time are Pokemon Diamond, Overwatch, Dead by Daylight, Kingdom Hearts, Harvest Moon, It's a Wonderful Life, Spyro Year of the Dragon, Barbie Fashion Show, Town of Salem, shout out, Katamari.
Town of Salem,
goated.
I was gonna bring it up. We'll talk.
Evil Within, and Until Dawn. I like it when you get to be a cute character that does a remedial task, and being the video game character is better than being in your own real life.
That was good.
Like, do you feel like you understand gamers more after this?
Yeah, I think so.
What did you think of them before? Like, what was the stereotype you had? Loser?
No, I think before I just like, I mean, I knew like our friends we talked to later on, like I knew that they were into video games.
Our crew is like academic challenge team, and that makes me and Elaine academic challenge team adjacent.
I guess I just like, I always knew they were into video games, but because I've never been into video games, me like admitting I'm like narcissist, selfish vibe. I'm like, yeah, because I never cared about it, I never even like thought to bring it up and talk about it with them.
We like needed content for the podcast. So we're like, time to start caring about our friends.
No, but it seriously is. I mean, I really enjoyed listening to them talk about it, and like I can see now why it's really easy to get like super immersed in it. I've just like never given a fuck, to be honest, about it until now, and I like it. I don't know what to say. I'm not like in love with the idea of like becoming a gamer girl.
Now I'm going to go through my family lineage to find out why I'm more of a gamer than Elaine. So, Grandma, if you could make up a dream video game to play, what would it be about?
Oh my goodness. A dream video game. I don't know. Maybe just a family gathering game where everybody would be together and we would make up a video game amongst us. I don't know.
Would you like to play a game where you are a strong man killing monsters?
No.
What about being a farmer?
About farming? Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's something good. Yeah.
How about being a waitress and you have to take care of a bunch of customers?
Well, I like to please people, so if I was young and strong, sure, I'd be willing, sure.
Would you like to play a game where you design your own home and city?
If I had the knowledge to do it, yeah. If I was knowledgeable in that, sure.
Do you have any other comments about video games?
Video games. It makes the world go round for millions and millions of people I know. People that have no other interests that they should be interested in, and they get hooked on doing video games. Like I'm hooked on watching my soap operas.
Here's my dad talking about his introduction to video games.
So when I was a kid, somewhere in the early 70s, which makes me 12 years old, is when Atari had a home video game system. And finally, like 5 years later, my dad got us a video game system. But of course, it wasn't the Atari system. It was the Sears version of the Atari system, which was basically just Pong, or the blip across the screen that you'd hit with a paddle, or you'd switch it to hockey, which was the same blip and the same paddle, but there were spaces at the end for the blip to go into as a goal. And somewhere toward 8th grade high school, we started having them at the bowling alley. They used to have, video game arcade, and they'd have Galaga and Asteroids.
So what happened in college so did you like playing video games? Like, was that a big hobby for you?
It wasn't a big hobby, but at college, which you were just about to ask me, they put in a Pac-Man game in the basement of our dining hall. The basement of our dining hall was just like a little fun room where they had foosball. They might have had a jukebox, and they had some tables, and they had some, pop machines and candy machines and stuff like that. And then they put in the Pac-Man machine. And a cook showed me the path to take through the maze. And basically, if you did this path every time with the Pac-Man, you couldn't be beat. You could just do it forever. And on one quarter, you could literally play for hours. And I did. And, I'd go down there after lunch, put in a quarter. I'd have chemistry class coming up at 1 o'clock. Next thing I knew, it was 10 till 1. Next thing I knew, it was 10 after 1. Next thing I knew, it was 10 after 2. And I had missed chemistry class, eating dots and chasing ghosts. This is at Miami University. And wasn't my freshman year because I wasn't at that dining hall. So my sophomore year would have started 1980. So this was sometime in the early 80s. I don't know when Pac-Man came out. I don't know if it was my sophomore or junior year when this Pac-Man addiction started. But it's when I realized that I have an addictive personality, and it's in the family. Trust me. I like to think that along with most of my negative traits have not been passed down to my daughters, and nothing distresses me more than when I see one of my bad traits in my daughters. Probably to some degree they have this too. You guys do play video games more than I ever did. I mean, the only thing I ever really got caught up on was that Pac-Man game in college back in the day, and I pretty much cold turkey it and haven't really got back into video games since. What am I? And then the one game I got into with you, or with Carina probably, was Spyro the Dragon. And it became the only video game that I ever completed from start to finish. And it was actually sort of hard. We had to cheat. We had to read stuff on the internet about the loop-the-loop maneuver and stuff you had to do to get someplace. But it became the only video game that I ever finished start to finish with you girls.
I think we all know where this is heading. So say hi again, 30-year-old.
Hi. I hope it stops being relevant that I'm 30 on this podcast someday.
Eventually, I think you'll just be more of my older sister than the 30-year-old take, as we get some more 30-year-olds on here. What are the first video games you remember playing? Talk about King's Quest.
So King's Quest is a very early RPG. I would play it with my dad, he would actually control it, and then I would just sit there and watch, basically. And they're really hard, intense games. There was one that I remember that you had to type in the commands for your person to do, and you just had to hope that whatever you typed in was in the system and that she would do it. It was kind of crazy. And I remember there was a guide to the game, and there was a phone number you could call if you needed help.
So do you remember playing games with me as a kid?
I do.
Like what?
We love playing Crash Team Racing.
And do you remember the first time I was going to beat you and you turned off the PS2?
Yeah, and what I want to say about that is you're younger than me. And at that time, our whole childhood, you were a lot younger than me. 6 years is a lot when you're a kid. So that was just really embarrassing for me.
Do you like to say you're sorry now?
Yeah, I'm really sorry, Emily. You won.
Yeah, I just remember that was kind of the first time I ever felt betrayal from you. Who was your favorite character to play in Crash Nitro Racing?
That little tiger.
Yeah, and I liked being the polar bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always pick the cute animal types. Yeah, so Throughout childhood, I remember watching you play like Kingdom Hearts the most, I'd say. That was like the most formative experience for me.
Yeah, and that's like a lot of like emo sentiment to give a young child.
Yeah, because they were like really like grappling with their like identity because like half of the characters in that game aren't even real, and then they're like, my consciousness.
It's the greatest crossover game.
Yeah, like Goofy basically has a gun in that game. In today's modern world, what would you say some of your favorite video games are?
My favorite game of all time is definitely The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Probably will be for a very long time. Actually, close second is Red Dead Redemption 2. Inspired me. Not to do anything, but it inspired me. I think about Red Dead Redemption 2 like every day.
In what ways?
Well, the main character is really hot, so that's what I think about.
It's to dress him up.
Yeah, you get really cute outfits. Oh, and I didn't even talk about Fire Emblem Three Houses, one of my other all-time favorites. That is the game that I recommend everyone to play, like no matter what their skill level is, because it's just such a good story and it's very addicting and very fun. And there's so many hot people.
So why do you think that The Witcher 3 is one of the best video games ever?
Okay, well, it came into my life at a very opportune time. Like it was the year after I graduated college, and I had played like a few RPGs like Dragon Age and Skyrim, and like I really had a lot of fun with those, but Witcher 3 just took it to like a level of immersion in this story. Like it was the first game I played where I was like, this story is like, not to be cliche, but like it was like Game of Thrones level in my mind. Like it was like really fun. I felt like I was in a movie.
So you think like The Witcher has the best storyline of any game ever?
Yeah, I think so. If you're getting into like characters and complexity and like overall plot, yeah.
And now here we have one of our best friends in the whole entire world, Zack, here to explain to Elaine the plot of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Hey.
Hi. Hi, Zack.
Hey.
Okay, this is what I know about The Witcher. Should I start with that?
Yeah, sure.
I know that it's a TV show. That's it. That's it. And he like has white hair and he looks like an elf. Who plays him?
Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Pretty big guy.
That's all I know. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, so The Witcher is like a story of that main guy, Henry Cavill, the white-haired elf-looking guy that you said. He's like
I figured maybe.
Yeah, so he's a witcher.
Right.
So like,
what's that? What's that?
He's a witcher. So a witcher is like a guy that hunts and slays monsters, and like a witcher is someone who like undergone like extensive training and like mental and physical conditioning through like many rituals and like summonings to like learn how to fight monsters.
Okay.
Right? And there was like this thing in the beginning of the story of the Witcher universe called the Conjunction. It was called the Conjunction of Spears. So what it was like Earth and a bunch of other planets like interdimensionally linking sort of. I don't know it completely, but linking, and a bunch of monsters started coming to Earth that weren't there before. Yeah.
Oh.
Right? And
Okay.
there had already been like elves and like people on Earth. There's a different story kind of to that. There are already elves and people on Earth, humans. And the human mages mages aren't elves. They can be, but the human mages created.
So there are
this,
elves
like,
there are elves in this game though.
Yeah, there are elves. And like
Somehow
The
I
Witcher
knew that.
3, come The Witcher 3, I think there's like not a lot of them. They're like a lot of are extinct.
They're endangered.
Yeah, they're an endangered species. And so the human mages at the time of the Conjunction made potions and like this trial to turn humans into warriors, kinda, to fight against the monsters. So
It sounds like the plot of Kill Bill.
I mean, if Bill is a mage who injects orphans with potions to turn them into a highly sensitive, like, killing machine, I mean, then kinda.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's a big old story to it about, like, the guy Geralt, because he struggles to find his place between, like, humans, because he's not a human anymore, because he's, like, gone through all these adaptations, kinda.
Are they witchers against their will?
At the beginning, the first, like, set of witchers, some were volunteered and some were against their will through, like, the mages to fight. The way, like, the main character Geralt, when he became a witcher, his, like, founder Vesemir, who was already a witcher and who was recruiting other people, found Geralt as an orphan, and he took him in and then made him a witcher. So that's kind of what they do now, is they do orphans to turn into witchers.
Vesemir is like the guy who gives Uma Thurman the sword in Kill Bill, kind of.
Yeah, he can be Bill.
But he gave the babies the Witcher potion against their will. That's what everyone's finding out about me in this episode, that I actually am so uncultured and don't know anything about media or movies or video games. I have very niche interests. Are we playing as Henry Cavill?
Yeah, we're playing as that guy.
What's his name?
Geralt.
Geralt?
Basically, there's this thing called the Wild Hunt that is coming to take Syria away.
And this is the girl he's watching over because she's elder blood.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Whatever the fuck that means, I don't know. I'm just repeating what you.
I don't really know
just
either.
Repeating what you said.
Like I said, I've watched the show recently, and the last time I played the game was probably 2017.
So he has. Why does he have to protect her? Was he cursed?
The Law of Surprise. That's what it's called. He took the Law of Surprise as like a payment. And I don't really know what the fuck that means. They never really explain it, in my opinion. And basically, their paths are destined for like each other, kind of like the Witcher and the newborn child.
Now it sounds like Rumpelstiltskin or some shit. Henry Cavill interacts with Ciri's dad and then is like destined to be with his daughter.
Not like be with, but like take care of his daughter.
Yes.
In order.
Destined to.
Yeah. To save her from this thing called the Wild Hunt. So in the new, like the third game, that's what that one's kind of about.
Okay. So the skeleton horses, they're trying to get Ciri blood to save their planet. Got it. I don't. I feel bad for him, kind of.
Yeah. And he can't feel emotions because he's a Witcher. So that kind of sucks. And
what?
Yeah, he can't have kids because he's a Witcher. And
is he like a Catholic priest, kind of?
No, just their dynamic.
My question, I guess, is what's Geralt's mood about all this? What's his point of view? Is he like pissed off and annoyed and is like, this bitch Ciri, I'm fucking sick of her? Or is he like, oh my god, Ciri, I have to save her. I have to stop this.
Or
like, is
is
he passionate about the job, or is he like, I fucking hate my life?
He's passionate about making sure Ciri is okay because he's like her dad, kinda. But throughout the game, he talks like he's Spock, to where he doesn't fucking care about anything.
I would like to know. Describe the monsters. Like, what's
my favorite monster? You're about to say?
Describe a monster, your fave, or like the scariest one in your opinion.
There's like over 80, so like in the
so it's like Pokemon.
You should look up a little thing called the Botchling. You'd like him. He's
him
a
up.
stillborn baby and a premature fetus without like burial, results in a thing called Botchling, right? Yeah.
What the fuck are you saying?
And like
what?
Right. So
it's
like
premature
premature babies and like fetuses and like stillborn babies like without a proper burial.
Guys, I'm on the Witcher wiki. Slay. Hi everyone. So now I'm here with our very dear friend Monty, who actually happens to be Zack's brother.
Hi.
Who's also a hi Monty. He's a big video game fan as well, and he knows a lot about The Witcher. And so I'm here. I'm gonna tell him what I think I learned from Zack. So basically, the Earth, is it referred to as the globe? That's what Zack said.
Continent.
In the game. The continent. Okay, yeah. We knew you would know the details. Zack was Zack said a lot of like, I don't know what that's called. Monty would know, but the continent. So the continent got merged in the Great Conjunction with like these other planets or whatever. And then these monsters got released.
Okay.
These like crazy monsters. There's monsters like the Botchling. There's monsters like the Grave Hag. These are the ones that Zack told me about. So just example of the 80 monsters. Apparently there's like at least 80 that are now haunting the world. Lots of many years ago, there was, I forget how it started or came about, but there's there's a potion you can drink and then you become a witcher.
Okay.
And it's the witcher's job to be fighting these monsters and like protecting the continent.
Okay.
Fast forward to the current where Geralt is. Geralt is hanging out. Is it Geralt or Geralt?
Geralt.
Okay.
Geralt is in a game called Fire Emblem.
Okay. Too many fucking video games, man, I'm telling you. So Geralt, sorry, Geralt. So Geralt was discovered as a little tiny baby by the elder no, getting my words mixed up. By a witcher, a older witcher who fed him the potion when he was a baby. But now there's no more potion left in the world, and there's only like 10 witchers currently. So the witchers are kind of like endangered. And so Geralt
There you go.
Geralt specifically, Henry Cavill in the show.
Henry Cavill.
Cavill, how do you say?
Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
Henry. Whatever. I literally just know he's Superman. He is somehow linked to this this person Siri, this girl, because he's friends with her dad, and somehow they've been linked, and it's in his fate to be it's in his fate to be taking care of her. He's like linked to her.
Okay.
And it's just like in their destiny to be together, but not romantically.
Like a father-daughter.
Yeah, like father-daughter, but also he doesn't actually care about her that much because he can't have emotions, and witchers can't cry, and they don't have emotions, but secretly they do have emotions, but they just don't show it. But he's also fucking this lady named Yennefer, side note, and he might actually really love her romantically. Fast forward, I think now we're getting to the plot of The Witcher 3 specifically.
Okay.
Ciri like missing or some shit. I forget exactly what they're called. Oh, the Wild Hunt. Yes, I remembered. The Wild Hunt is running around on their skeleton horses.
Okay.
Trying to find Ciri. Trying to find Ciri because she has elder blood and she has these powers that can teleport everyone from the Wild Hunt's planet because their planet is dying and going extinct. Ciri's powers can teleport all of the skeleton horses from their planet before it goes extinct over to the
We
continent.
could teleport all the skeleton horses to
to the continent.
The primary goal is to make sure the skeleton horses move to the continent.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I mean, that seems important.
Okay.
And so they're hunting her to try and save their species before their planet dies. Geralt
Henry
is
Cavill.
Henry Cavill is trying to find her before the Wild Hunt finds her, and basically you're playing as Geralt in The Witcher 3 trying to stop all of this from happening to Ciri. And meanwhile, you can run around because it's like a free world game, and you can play Gwent.
I would say I'm glad that Zack brought up the most important part of the game, Gwent.
Yeah, he told me he played Gwent for 800 hours. Can Gwent be played with like a regular deck of cards?
No.
We couldn't play it in real life.
Play it in real life. No, we could not.
So yeah, I would love to hear now, Monty, your top 5 favorite games of all time.
Okay.
And I'm gonna decide which one I would want to play.
Okay, so my favorite game. I'll start at the bottom. I'll start at 5th favorite game of all time. I would say is probably Final Fantasy X. It is a Japanese RPG. It is part of the long-running series Final Fantasy. It's got like turn-based combat. It's very fantasy-based with like some like a little bit of sci-fi in it, but not a whole lot. Basically, your entire goal is to defeat this giant fish creature. My 4th favorite video game of all time. I don't know if Zack thought of this one, but it is one that I've played probably more than Final Fantasy X in terms of actual playthroughs, but less hours, is Fallout New Vegas.
That sounds fun.
Fallout New Vegas is part of a series called Fallout, which is it's set in like 2022, like 60 or something, or maybe beforehand, I forget. But basically, in like the 2000s, like I think it was like 2040 or something, 2060, the entire world is devastated by nukes. like the entire world is nuked, and a bunch of people survive in things called vaults. They're basically like bomb shelters, but designed to handle nuclear weapons. And then this is like in the future when people are already out and about, and they've made cities out in the wasteland of like the nuclear wasteland and all that stuff. And in Fallout New Vegas, you're in the Las Vegas area. Your goal is to deliver this like ship to someone on the Las Vegas Strip, and you start in a small town on the outskirts. You're actually shot in the head at the beginning of the game, but you managed to survive.
So you can choose if you want to go shoot some people or if you want to go like be diplomatic and like talk.
Yeah. There are always going to be some things you're going to have to shoot because there are also like irradiated animals and like mutated animals you have to kill. As well as like some people are bandits and they're just going to be violent no matter what.
Gotcha. What's it called? Fallout New Vegas?
Fallout New Vegas.
More like waking up in Vegas, Katy Perry.
Sure. And number 3 is a game called Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2 is a first-person shooter that has like role-playing elements in it, and it's something called a looter shooter. Like you kill enemies and they drop new weapons that you can switch out your current weapons for, and you progressively get stronger and stronger weapons. You level up more and more. It's got like a weird sense of humor that a lot of people don't like. I think it's kind of funny. If not, it makes the game more entertaining. It's got a cool cel-shaded art style, and it's something that you can replay over and over again, and you just don't get bored of it. I've played it a bunch. I've played it with a bunch of different friends because it's actually a multiplayer game as well. So you can play it with people. I've played it with multiple friends I've done entire playthroughs with other people and playthroughs by myself. You shoot things in the head, people explode, you keep going and get more weapons.
Okay, I got it. No questions about that one.
Number 2 is a game called God of War, but not like the original God of War. The original God of War came back in like 2004. This is not the remake, but like the continuation of the old God of War series it's called God of War again, but it's God of War 2018's version. Basically the former God of War of the Greek pantheon. Like you had like decades ago, you killed the entire Greek pantheon: Zeus, Hermes, Hephaestus, Ares, all of them, and you became the God of War, and then you eventually left that all behind. Everyone thought Kratos, the main character, was dead. Apparently, he moved to like the Norse area, like the Norse gods area.
You play as Kratos.
Play as Kratos.
Is that who you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you have a kid now, and your wife had just passed away before the start of the game, and the goal was that she wanted her ashes spread at the tallest mountain in the region.
Oh, would I cry when I play it? I feel like I would cry.
Don't know. Zack, would she cry?
Would you cry playing God of War? None of the first 3, maybe just the opening scene. But the one you're talking about, I would say she might cry of laughter when she meets the little dwarves for the first time, and that's about it.
My favorite video game of all time, and it's not even particularly close. I knew this before I knew anything else. I had to think about all my other favorite games and put them in an order. This one I knew it was number 1 before I even thought of anything. It is Kingdom Hearts 2.
Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts 2.
I realize I have to explain this now. Which is probably going to be harder than any of the other games so far because they all have a straightforward plot. It's not nostalgia factor alone, Zack. It is not just nostalgia factor alone. I have played it many times. It is a game that holds up. So basically, you are this character named Sora, and you are the wielder of something called the Keyblade, which is basically a sword that is shaped like a key. And your entire goal is to fight back against the darkness and the heartless. And there are different versions of the darkness, and the darkness being either a group called the Organization 13 and nobodies who are beings who do not have hearts, who are trying to get them, who can't feel emotion, kind of like Witchers. And there are also the Heartless, which are beings that are made of pure darkness, and they're trying to destroy worlds and make them succumb to darkness. And basically, we're just trying to fight back against all that so that they cannot build this thing, this monolith called Kingdom Hearts, that can basically destroy things and sentence worlds into darkness, but it would also provide those nobodies with hearts. It's an amazing game. It's really, really complicated.
So you want them to get the hearts or you don't?
You don't. You're trying to fight back against it. It's an amazing, amazing game. It's really hard to describe because it's probably one of the most complicated games I have of all time. There are videos trying to explain the Kingdom Hearts franchise to people, and it just became.
I think it's funny that you're like, I could write a 30-page paper. This thing is so complicated, but I played it when I was 3. All right, I have a lot to think about right now. My head feels fucking full of knowledge, of video game knowledge, and a lot of things that I've never thought about before. I don't know. I think that the God of War, I think it sounds sweet, and I think that I could be motivated to continue to play for my dead wife because I would really want to get her ashes to the top of the mountain. But then at the same time, I'm thinking Kingdom Hearts sounds pretty cool because I love the Mickey Mouse. I live to serve Mickey Mouse. I need to not be indecisive and annoying. I think I would be into playing a Vegas game the most. What's it called again?
Hey y'all. We're here with our good mutual friend Natalie. Hi Natalie.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no prob. So really generally, I just would love to know what some of your favorite video games are.
So I was thinking really hard about this ever since Emily invited me on, and I would really like to throw the PC Harry Potter games out there in the running because I used to play those all the time when I was younger, and they still hold up. I got them on eBay a few years ago, actually.
Are they CDs you had to get in the mail?
Yep. I 100%ed Lego Harry Potter years 5 through 7 last year. That was my New Year's resolution,
Holy
actually.
shit.
It took so long.
How many hours do you think you logged into that game?
Maybe like it'll total up to like a week.
A week of your life in Lego Harry Potter. Would you consider yourself a gamer girl?
I like don't because I feel like you have to play Call of Duty. I mean, one of my friends actually like introduced me to someone as a gamer, and I was like, what the hell are you talking? I don't know. I'm not that invested.
Do you have like a gamer setup when you play video games?
I like also I don't consider myself a gamer because I like play games on an Xbox 360, and I feel like that's a sin at this point.
Ooh, what games?
It's like super old. I play Skyrim on there, and I have Minecraft and Jeopardy.
Are you playing Jeopardy by yourself?
Sometimes you can play against like a robot, but it's really hard.
So Natalie, what do you think of gamers in general, like the stereotype of gamers?
I've never seen like a neck beard in real life. I think that's made up.
Whoa.
Like I don't know, like the gamers with like fedoras and shit.
What does neckbeard mean? I'm here with my dear friend Kelsey. Say hi.
Hello.
Her and two of our other good friends really love to talk about Minecraft when I'm around, and I'm like, wow. And I can sit and watch them play I think I've sat and watched you and Nolan play for like a while before, but I always find something interesting to look at. But I want to talk to you about that, and I want to talk about Animal Crossing.
I don't know how much you know about Minecraft. It did start as like a very, very, very basic concept with just a couple of blocks, and it just kind of took off and grew from there. I think what made Minecraft such a popular game was definitely YouTube had a big influence of that. A lot of the streamers are realizing that they like to watch people play video games instead of playing them themselves. And Minecraft also just, I feel like, offers both sides of the same coin in one game. Like a lot of people like creative aspects, a lot of people like the more adventurous aspects, and Minecraft really just kind of blends those two together so beautifully because you can be going into a game not looking to be creative at all, but just the landscapes that surround you are just so unique and individual. And that's also one of Minecraft's things where it's like every single map is randomly generated.
Do you have a favorite memory from playing Minecraft?
This one particular game with my roommate in Minecraft, we found a saddle, which are somewhat difficult to obtain sometimes. And I had a horse, and he was so fast. Like, I think it is the fastest horse I have ever gotten on Minecraft ever. We fell into a little like pond, and he got trapped underneath a block and drowned.
A horse?
And it was devastating.
Oh my god.
And I have yet to find another horse to live up to his legend, like his expectations, his shadow. Animal Crossing, I like for totally different reasons than Minecraft. I like that you're building this kind of one-on-one relationship with all of these villagers that decide they want to stick around with you in your dinky little town, whether that be a little island or like in City Folk's case, just right off the city, you just gotta take the train down. I just think it's so cozy and intimate. Like you're spending time getting to know all of these villagers. You find out what they like, you find out what they don't like, they find out other villagers they may like or not like. And you just, I don't know, you build this relationship with them, you get to know them, you make them feel at home while also creating a whole island or town that feels home to you.
I love ketchup, and I know you have ketchup.
I love ketchup.
I know you had her, right?
Yeah, I was like really deep into the Animal Crossing like trade network. There was this website you can go on to literally like keep an inventory count of all of the items of furniture and like wallpaper and flooring and everything. And so there's this website literally designed for people to just keep inventory of everything they have ever encountered, so that if somebody else wants it, they can reach out to them and go, "Will you order this for me? I will pay you X amount of bells."
Wow.
That's how I acquired ketchup.
Sounds crazy, like some black market shit. I remember one time my roommate was on Depop, and somebody on Depop was marketing you could get like 3 million bells, even more than that. It was like 10 million bells for like $5 real. And last time I got on, Marshall tried to leave, so.
You have Marshall?
Yeah, I have Marshall.
I'm like, you could sell him for big bucks.
For real life money.
I mean, maybe. People are obsessed with Marshall. He's like one of the few that like the fandom goes nuts for him.
You feel like anyone can play any video game?
Whether it be a super complex and very like you have to be really into it to like get it and like quick movements, stuff like that, or let it be a really lazy game that you downloaded on your Switch to play solitaire. I think there is a game for everybody. So I think it's safe to say that anybody can play games.
So we're here with our friend Mack, a really good friend from our childhood growing up. I've always known Mack to be a big baller gamer, but she's about to tell you for herself. So Mack, what are some of your favorite video games of all time?
Definitely the Sly Cooper franchise. That is a series that kind of just holds a lot of nostalgia for me. It's one of the first games that I remember playing was like Sly 2, actually. But other than that, I like Grand Theft Auto like everybody else on this planet. And I also like sports games too. That's kind of where like the two sides of my personality fuse together.
Do you consider yourself a gamer girl?
It's a funny question because I don't really anymore. I don't think I have for a while. I think when I was a kid and I was in middle school, I was playing like Modern Warfare 2. Or no, I think it was Black Ops 2 when you could create your own emblem for your account. And I like went out of my way to, make like gamer girl emblems.
Is Black Ops the zombie game?
The Call of Duty games, any of the games that are made by Treyarch have the Nazi zombies stuff. I mean, there's some here and there, but it's like not the same. Like other studios, when it's their turn to make a Call of Duty game, they've tried making their own rendition of zombies, but it's usually not as good.
Is Black Ops, okay, I'm so sorry if this is such a dumb question. Is Black Ops and Call of Duty the same thing?
Yeah. Okay. Black Ops. Yeah, Call of Duty has like a couple of different series of games. Call of Duty is a very weird thing, but basically Call of Duty is on like a development cycle each year. Obviously, we all know like each year they come out with like a new game. Usually what happens is they alternate which studio develops the game like every other year. Black Ops was developed by Treyarch. Modern Warfare was developed by Infinity Ward. So one year like you get Black Ops 2, and then the next year you get Modern Warfare 3, and then the next year it's Black Ops 3, and
So Call of Duty is just like, what does Call of Duty mean? Is it just like shooting? Is it just always about
what is the Call of Duty?
Yeah, what is the Call of Duty?
War games. Like it just set in different time periods. Like you have like Call of Duty World at War was set during like World War II, And so was Call of Duty World War II, obviously.
Are they giving you the opportunity to like be the Nazis? Like, I'm confused. I just feel like there's some problematic elements to it.
Yeah, Call of Duty has had some very problematic moments.
I just wanted to ask, how did you get originally into video games? What exposed you to them?
Definitely my brother and my dad. Me and my brother would play video games a lot. Definitely had that, mom said it's my turn for the Xbox childhood. One thing we would do as kids is at Thanksgiving when my uncle would come, we would do a Madden tournament and we would all pick a team and play each other.
It took me back to my Madden game, and I got the voice in my head that goes, EA Sports. Get your head in the game, or whatever it says.
I think that's a like High School Musical tagline or something.
It's in the game.
Elaine.
I was close enough, I guess.
Now, me and Elaine are going to talk to some of my best friends from college, Connor and Cal, about being male gamers in this day and age. Here's Connor. Connor, what are some of your favorite video games?
All right. Well, I play a lot of strategy and RPGs. So, Total War, you got the new one coming out next month. Of course, there's like Civilization. Of course, a lot of people play Civilization. One is called Deep Rock Galactic, and it's where you play as like a dwarf in space, and you go on missions to like mine. It's like 4-player co-op, and you get to like customize your dwarf. And I love dwarves, and so I really like that game. It's a really addicting game where you hop in and you play it. You do your like objectives and you like kill bugs with like a flamethrower and stuff.
What is the game Total War about for people that don't know?
The Total War is a grand strategy game, but you basically just choose a nation and it's like a turn-based overworld, and you build your armies and stuff, and then when you actually have to fight, it zooms in, it turns from turn-based to a real-time strategy game where you have to actually like direct your battalions across the battlefield and stuff like that.
Can you pull up your Steam and then say the name of the game and how many hours you have on it?
Yeah, so Total War Empire was a game that I was really into in high school, and I have 1,229 hours on record in it. And then, of course, Rome Total War, which is also from the Total War franchise, I have 682 hours, and then an additional 316 hours in Total War Medieval 2, 306 in Total War Warhammer 2, 201 in Total War Shogun 2. Then outside of the Total War games, I have 964 hours in Civilization 5.
So are you into Total War because you like the history aspect of it, or what's the appeal to you?
So that's what got me into Total War back in high school when I first started playing, although I don't actually play the historical ones that much anymore. I play Warhammer, which is more like fantasy, so like dwarves and elves and stuff. And that's really what I'm more interested in nowadays. I love building like armies out of like dwarves and elves and goblins and stuff.
Awesome. So when did you know you were going to become a gamer? Would you consider yourself a gamer?
I mean, I would consider myself a gamer.
List some of the qualities of the gamer stereotype.
Antisocial in a way, they can be a bit rude, I suppose. They smell.
Yeah, would you like to beat the you don't shower allegations right now?
I just got out of the shower before just now, actually, and I put a lot of care into taking care of myself. I go online and I order body wash. I use bar soap, but I get all that special. I don't really buy from Walmart or anything like that. I really enjoy taking care of myself, actually.
Do you think Cal's a better man than you for not playing as many video games?
No. See, Cal is not a better man than me. See, I actually am a better man than Cal.
So, now joining us, we have a Nathan Fielder type, one of the best guys. Okay, I have to calm down. One of the best guys. Yeah,
I'm calm.
One of the best guys in the whole entire world.
Why is that so hard to get through?
He's fine. He's all right. His name's Cal.
Is it so hard to compliment me?
Is Nathan Fielder type of compliment?
I think of him as like one of the highest forms of comedy, and honestly. Okay, one of the best guys ever, so hard to come, blah, blah, blah. He's here to talk to us about a code of ethics for gamer men.
Okay, yeah, well, honored to be here. I've been listening since episode 1. Um, so I just wrote down a couple, just off the noggin, some, I think I'm gonna call it gamer laws. If you're gaming before 9 a.m., that's an issue. That's right off the bat. Because I wrote some gamer tiers. I think I'm gonna break it into novice gamer, intermediate gamer, expert gamer, and master gamer. But I don't want to put it down because it's just like any hobby where you flip through some channels or well, I don't want to compare it to going outside, but yeah. So I think anything more than 12 hours a week is where you start to dip into intermediate gamer. So I'm gonna say novice gamer is the kind of gamer who just like owns an Xbox and like every once in a while blow off some Steam, they'll play Fortnite or something. And then I wrote for intermediate gamer, that's when you're starting to get more competitive. You buy a headset to talk to people. You have like a group of folks that you're playing with. Maybe you even have a set time.
So, like premeditated gaming is novice.
Yes, premeditated gaming. Like that's when you become an intermediate gamer. Then we're getting into expert gamer. That's what I'm saying. I think if you buy a gaming PC, you're in expert territory. Because I've tried that before, and it like involves a lot of research and like making sure parts are compatible, and I just don't have time for that. I'm also putting in dual monitors. If you have dual monitors, you're an expert gamer. This is when you start playing 20 plus hours a week, neglecting those who care for you, neglecting duties around the house, chores and loved ones, things like that. Master gamer, I would say, is when you're putting all of your free time into it. And I also think it's when you have light up keyboards and Funko Pops.
Funko Pops are like a sign of loose morals.
I think right now I consider myself a novice because maybe I'll play a video game once or twice a week and I'll just like be laying around, have nothing to do. Boot up some Fortnite.
Where were you on the list at your lowest, would you say?
I would say my lowest is probably high school because I didn't have a very bountiful social life. And I also didn't like play sports and I barely even studied. So I was like the worst kind of nerd where you weren't even good at school. I just played video games. So I would put myself in expert gamer territory there. I would play like right when I got home. And then I would probably play till like 8 p.m. And I'd be like, oh, Jesus, I got to do some homework. I almost failed chemistry. I didn't really start like going out with friends and like getting drunk and shit until I was well into my teens.
So you're saying getting drunk replaced playing video games?
Yeah, it kind of did.
Was that the like turning point when you were like, something's got to change? I have to stop playing so much video games.
Yeah, I think it was two things because these both sort of happened all at once. I started getting a haircut that looked okay. And then also my acne cleared up and I started getting drunk. And all this stuff combined made me more attractive to women for the first time in my life.
So there's hope.
There is hope. You just have to get a haircut. And maybe gamers, maybe shave that beard. I know you can grow one.
Yesterday, Elaine asked what a neck beard was. She didn't even know.
I just didn't realize that was like a gamer stereotype.
I feel like so many gamers just think because they can grow facial hair, it's like a sign of manliness or something. But it's like, no, yeah, it needs to look
Can you
good.
list some gamer stereotypes?
Lethargic.
Okay. What?
Not only do you have to look good, but you have to like move and like get up and walk around and
Yeah, they have to like they have blood clots in their ass from sitting down too long.
Call out the men that you want to hear this. Like address them.
Unwashed. If you're still drinking soda every day, you're probably a gamer. where it's like you're still acting like a 7-year-old who like wants to eat cake and drink Mountain Dew most of the day, and eat potato chips. Like just
It's like me and Emily. I'm not kidding. we, we like literally text each other and we're like, we're eating donuts right now. We're like, did you have your donut today?
for some reason my sweet tooth like went away in the past few years of my life.
Yeah, you told me, I'm not kidding, you told me in college that if you drink alcohol, you lose your sweet tooth, and you were like, yes, that's why I lost mine.
Well, I was I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to come off like an alcoholic. I do think that's
It's too
I do think
late.
that has some merit.
So did you ever get in trouble because of video games?
I remember one time my mom this is embarrassing, but my mom came up at like 2 in the morning because she heard Jack, my twin, and I shouting, and we're like playing Minecraft, and she's like, "What the hell are you doing at this hour?" And like, we're playing some video games. She goes, "You guys think you're allowed to just stay up as long as you want playing Minecraft?" And I was like, "Yes." But no, she set us straight, and I went to bed and I was ashamed.
What is there to shout at in Minecraft?
Well, like you would join servers and like fight other people. So like me and my gang would get like pissed off when people took our stuff. Then we would try to take their stuff.
Well,
And
Elaine, you talked to your
yeah.
friend Kelsey yesterday. What was she saying her agenda in Minecraft was? Was it killing other people?
She said she just likes to find horses and like ride them around. She said she likes to she said when she plays she likes to try to, forgive me if I'm saying this wrong because I really know not much about it. She said she likes to play to try and like beat that ender dragon.
Oh
What it's
yeah,
called?
yeah.
She like just always
Yeah.
she tries to get to that point. She said she never does, but
Yeah, it just like takes a lot of work. You know, I never feel like doing it either. But yeah, I guess it's like it's a very versatile game in that you can just like hurt animals, but also like my friends and I had like I think we were more like we had our masculine blood pumping, and we were like total warfare, like burning crops and stealing supplies.
Did you feel like a primal like instinct with being a white man to do this, to like pilgrim?
I think probably that was part of it. I was just letting out what's deep inside me, and frankly, it was terrifying. But yeah, like it was a sort of a way to just fuck around. You know, it's like ding dong ditching, but like you don't have to go outside. Like you're just playing a prank on someone, you're destroying their house in Minecraft.
that's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
So, what's the best time you've ever had playing a game?
Okay, this is some nerdy shit, but it was hilarious. So this is a great Minecraft heist my friends and I pulled off. If you build a nether portal, you go to the nether, you know.
Love it there. So fun.
Yeah. So we were playing this game mode called like factions where people have bases and you have to like find certain ways to get into the bases because you can't just break the blocks. Like you can blow them up if you're crafty, but like it's kind of difficult to do so. So we knew where these people's base was, but it was like covered in water and had all we couldn't get into it. We had the nerds among us did some math and figured out like where to go coordinates in the nether so that if we built the portal we would show up in their base. And so we did the calculations, we looked at the data, and then we built a portal, and then we pop out right inside their base and like ganked them all and took their stuff. It was like a moment of primal triumph. I beat my chest, like swung my club in the air.
Cal, our mutual friend Connor from college, who spent a lot of time gaming, as we know, who also studied game design, do you think you're a better man than him?
I am not. I'm not a better man than
He
Connor.
said he was a better man than
I
you.
would say
I'll tell you
we're
that.
okay, never mind then. I was gonna try to be nice. Yes, I'm a better man than Connor. Of course, I'm a better man than Connor. It's like no competition. I mean, we like look at the man. He's eating spaghetti like 5 times a week. Gotta get some broccoli on your plate.
What stereotypes of a gamer do you think Connor follows?
I think Connor embodies the I think he's the best kind of nerd gamer there is, where no incel, you know. He still has a great friend. He has a great friend group.
He
and,
wouldn't be
like, everyone
calling
loves
me
him.
and Elaine fucking cunt bitches on voice channel.
No, he wouldn't.
Well, can you do like a Master Chief like message to Connor? Like just pretend you're Master Chief.
Connor, it's Master Chief. We're very proud of you here at the Spartans. Get out there and kill some aliens.
But yeah, I'm like, who's Master Chief? I literally. I'm not kidding. People keep saying words, and I'm like, I just found out Call of Duty and Black Ops are the same video game, actually.